Hello, everyone, and welcome to the week in review for Module 7. Sorry about the delay, but I was focusing on getting all of the grading done, which it is done. We are done through Module 6. That also includes the literature review that you had in Module 5, which I delayed. I gave everybody an extension through Module 6, Sunday at Module 6, to hand that in. So basically it turned into a Module 6 assignment. Please go back and look at that because I've provided every one of you with a video feedback, a personal video where I'm walking through that paper with you. Even if you did score a 48 or a 48 points, 50 points out of 50, you got a perfect score on it. Go back and look at that because I do have some comments in there. Sometimes I don't take off points for something that other instructors might take off points for. So please go back and look at that video feedback. It only runs about 3 to 5 minutes on average for the feedback. So please go back and do check that out. All the other grades are updated to this point. So, and I did notice there were some assignments that are missing for folks. Please do turn in those late assignments, especially on something that's worth 50 points. Even if I take off 10 points, 15 points, it is definitely worth it for you. When you're missing that big of a chunk of points, it is something that you do want to get in. I say most students usually that will bring a later grade completely down. So even if you, worst case scenario, let's say a student got 25 points out of 50, that is, 25 points is a big chunk versus a complete zero, in that whole category. So please do think about resubmitting or submitting that work if it is missing. Also, a quick comment on part 3. Great job in general. Some of you had some really beautiful charts and graphs. They did a really good job with that. I was really impressed on that, especially when we looked at the first charts and graphs that we did at the very beginning, which were okay. A little bit of I'd say kind of on the amateur level. But then with what I saw with this group coming in, great job. I mean, they really look slick. Good job on that. Really looking forward on how you're incorporating both part 2 and part 3 of this project into your fourth part of the project, which is due this week in Module 7. So let's talk about that. So you do have the big presentation that'll be due. Make sure that you meet the requirements on there, especially the time requirements for the presentation. That's where students usually get the most points off. If they do a 3-minute presentation, but I believe we're required to have 5 to 7, if I remember, if that's what I put in there. I believe it is. I think my minimum is 5. I used to have it at a much higher minimum counts on that, but at least make the minimum time required so you don't have any deduction on points. When you do a 2 or 3 minute presentation and you're required to do 5, the point deduction is going to be there. So do be careful about that. Now, I think that with all the information that you guys did in your literature review, that you did in part 1 with your charts, you're going to easily get to that time limit. You're actually going to probably be worried about not exceeding the maximum time limit. So I will say this. I have never deducted points for people that have gone over. I will continue that tradition now, so please do not freak out if you do go over. I know I had you do a project at the very beginning of the course where you had to be spot on 1 minute just so you could get an idea of how to finish something, a presentation in a confined format. But with this one, please don't worry if you do exceed it. But again, there'll be no extra points necessarily given if you go over. So stick to what you need to do, and you'll be just fine. And then in Module 8, we're going to take a look at each other's presentations. So the question comes up now. You have the Present Me. So you must do the Present Me format. All of you have your Present Me accounts, which we established at the beginning of the course. And then you will simply provide that link for us to look at. If you remember, you want to simply go to the Share Present Me function. It will want to basically push it out as an email that you'd share a link. But if you scroll down on that box that comes up within Present Me, there is a second option to simply just copy the link. and you just simply copy that link. Or if you missed that for some reason, just have the email, share it to yourself, and then you'll see the email embedded in that, or that link embedded in the email that you've shared to yourself. But Present Me as a little bit of, I guess, a glitch, if you will, because when the sharing window comes open to share that Present Me, it'll open up about like that, and it will just appear as if you can only share through email. But if you simply scroll down, right below it, but hidden from the window, is the link that you can just simply copy to your clipboard and paste right into the discussion area that we will then next week look at and view it, and then with some commentary put in there as well as part of next week's or say Module 8's requirements. So exciting time as you guys kind of culminate this 4-part project into these presentations. I'm looking very forward. I mean, after really reading those literature reviews, I mean, you guys are really getting this down and kind of honing these initial topics. You're really getting some more focus on them, so which is great. So I think it's all going to come together for you this week with your presentation. So looking very forward to seeing everything next week as we look at all of them. All right, so that pretty much concludes checking my notes here. Week 8, we also have that final exam coming up, so be careful there. Again, following a lot of the formats of our weekly quizzes and content within there. Everybody's doing very well on the weekly quizzes. There has been some adjustment. I believe in Module 4, I floated the grades up a little bit on that quiz. Bad questions. So if we have any bad questions, I do float those up. I want to thank, there was a student either in this section or the other student in the other section I teach who did let me know about, hey, this question didn't make any sense compared to the book, and sure enough, I had the answer keyed in incorrectly. So everybody's grades got floated up a little bit on that. And looking at that, that's pretty much it. You guys are doing a good job with keep up with your weekly reflections. I do look at those. And next, again, week 8, Module 8 is going to be a big, kind of a big week. But again, if you have that project, get that done this week. The presentation, don't let that be delayed. Try not to be late with that one because all of us are going to view those in Module 8. So Module 8 shouldn't be too bad with kind of catch up, cleanup, etc. All right. Well, that concludes the week in review for Module 7. And as always, thanks for watching.